He was over in the corner with the volume turned low, shooting gin and tonic and pouring out his soul. He was singing about killing, scrapping and raping, while all the yuppies sat chilling, yapping and vaping. Had bruises and scars for the whole room to see. No fear in his eyes, he wore his heart on his sleeve as he sang about his habits and cheating on exes. They all were busy Snapchatting, tweeting and texting. Yeah, their heads were stuck in their galaxies as they traveled to exotic places. They argued politics and they got their kicks out of fart apps and filtered faces. Well, radio's dying, the band's a lost art, and vinyl is a dinosaur. But we can't blame it all on Nashville anymore. Years from now, when they put in their time, the drugs take their toll and their friends are all dying, and they've lived through broken homes and trying phases. They'll bust out his records and sing his praises, but his head is stuck in reality as he sings about familiar places. He's sick of politics and he gets his kicks out of long nights well wasted. Boy, he can rock 'em like a killer and sing like a king and somehow remain ignored. But we can't blame it all on Nashville anymore. No, we can't blame it all on Nashville anymore. All right, that tune there is off of my album, The Brimstone Sessions. And it's available for download on Spotify and iTunes and pretty much every music platform out there. So if you enjoyed it, go check it out on the album Brimstone Sessions, which is pretty much just a stripped down album, just me and that baritone guitar with very few overdubs. So check it out and see what you think of it. I got the inspiration for that tune from watching a YouTube video, ironically, of my good buddy Ronnie Elliott. And if you've never heard of him, I highly recommend you check out his music. That is Ronny Elliott. Check him out. He's one of the best songwriters around. Lives down in Tampa, Florida these days. Anyway, I was watching this YouTube video of him, and he's singing one of my favorite songs by him called Mr. Edison's Electric Chair, which is just this haunting, dark, Johnny Cash kind of song. And the crowd noise is so loud in the video that you kind of have to, really strain to hear him. And it just got me to thinking about how many times I've been somewhere where a guy was up there just spilling his guts, man, just pouring out his heart and soul to a crowd of people, and they're just ignoring him. They're just looking at their phones. He's just background music. And I have literally sat and heard guys and went, man, that guy is every bit as good as anyone on radio or anyone out there getting any praise or any kind of push whatsoever, but yet he's just ignored. People are ignoring him. I guess he's in the wrong place, wrong time. I don't know. But it just got me to thinking about how that, for years, and I've been guilty of this, for years, people will blame Nashville. They'll say, it's Nashville's fault. Nashville killed country music. And, I've been guilty of probably saying that when I was younger before I kind of realized what was going on. But really, Nashville, I'm sure they played a part in it, but they were just trying to pump out something that would sell. And I think that people is what just killed out the music. And I think that the social media had a big impact on it. People nowadays can, go to their phone and, if you got I saw an ad one time. It was of a Radio Shack ad from the 80s, and it was like a wristwatch, a television, a calculator, all these different things were on the front page of this Radio Shack ad, and it said, now everything in this ad is now in your iPhones. And I thought, wow, that's true. We do everything from right here. And so people over time have just gotten away from music the way that they used to. Used to, back in the day, a band could set up in a field somewhere, unannounced. The Allman Brothers used to, back in the 70s, would go out to some park and just set up unannounced and start jamming, and all of a sudden they'd have 2 or 3,000 people standing there watching it, because people wanted to go see music back then. They were more into it. And nowadays, you still have your audience of music lovers that go to festivals and go out of their way to find and dig and find good music. But people have got away from digging because everything is right up here on the surface, and I guess they feel no reason to dig. And this is one of those subjects that I could debate all day long. I'm not saying that everything I'm saying is 100% right. I'm always welcoming to anyone who has an opinion or an idea as to what happened over the years. But, that song just came from one of my pet peeves about a guy who is kind of in the wrong venue. He should have probably been somewhere else. Probably should have been in a listening room or a house party or somewhere, but he was just trying to make some money, and he was out playing and, was getting talked over. And I've had it happen to me too. I ain't gonna lie. There's been times, funny story, one time I could not get, the crowd was talking so loud that I kept having to turn up my monitor just to hear me. And so finally, I busted out some X-rated David Allan Coe just to see if they were listening, and no one noticed. I played Cum Stains on the Pillow and Fucking in the Butt, and no one noticed. So I've definitely been there before, and I don't know. I just feel like you can't blame it all on Nashville. The funny thing is, I've always said I believe that Nashville, they know what they're pumping out. They know that radio will play it. They also know that it's not that great. They know it's crap, but it's controllable crap. They can control this, and so I believe they're kind of in on the gimmick. I believe they're in on the work. And so I don't blame them anymore. I think that there's way more things we could put the blame on than Nashville. There's good music coming out of Nashville in different parts of it. So it's not fair anymore to just lay all the blame at Nashville's feet. But feel free to comment and let me know what you think about the situation. When did the music die for you? I've had people say, well, music ain't been the same since 1990, whatever, or since whatever year, and I'm like, actually, man, that's probably when your responsibilities stopped, or when your responsibilities started. What I mean by that is everybody's favorite music is from a time in their life when they were out partying and they were out, they were growing up and they had no responsibilities. They were just having a good time. Mom and dad was paying all the bills. Then once they got out on their own and really started having to get into life and really pay bills, they quit digging because they didn't have time to dig. So they just listened to whatever was on the radio, and then that sucks. That don't sound as good as the stuff I used to dig a little harder for. So I think there's a lot to be said for that. I think that when someone says I miss the good old days, what they're pretty much referring to is the days when they didn't have bills and didn't have to have a job or didn't have kids. So again, that's just my opinion. Hope you enjoyed the song. Hope you enjoyed the story that followed and the, I guess, borderline rant. Feel free to rant in the comments and let me know what you want to hear. Thank y'all.